impulse buys is the number one thing you should rethink before purchasing. I have been through it. I still go through it when it comes to like, oh, maybe this would be great for me, or maybe this would be great for the house or for my cat. I have to take a step back and be like, this is an impulse. I didn't have this on my list. Like when you go to the store, you're like, the things that are on your list are the things that you know that you need. If they're not on your list, then don't buy them. Also, when it comes to social media, be careful on who you follow, who you're constantly watching, because the people that you're watching or what you're watching, it can influence you to purchase things you don't need. It can influence you to make impulse purchases because you might feel like, all right, well, this worked for her and she's absolutely beautiful. I want to look like that. I want to live like that. So I'm going to purchase it. 80 or 90% of the time, it doesn't work out. So my biggest advice is stop with the impulse buys. If you have purchased things, if you're watching this video right now and you have purchased things today, that the things that weren't on your list and you don't really need, keep your receipt and go return that item and put that money back into savings. When it comes to student loans, extremely high interest rate. Maybe there's a way around that. Maybe there's a cheaper loan that you can go with if you are going to school. Call around. You'll never know until you try. Same thing goes for cars. If you're doing payments on a car, check the interest rate. If that dealership has a really, really bad interest rate, go somewhere else. Also, credit cards. Credit cards by far have the worst interest rates. Even someone like myself, live in a minimalist lifestyle, pretty good with my money. I do still make mistakes here and there. I'm not perfect, but I'm overall pretty good when it comes to not getting into traps with high interest rates. When it comes to the credit card I have, I signed up for it back in 2017. That was my first real credit card besides store credit cards. Stay away from store credit cards, you guys. Not worth it. But my real credit card is amazing. The cash back is great. All of those things are great. The worst part about it is the interest rate. I mean, I do pay my payments off before the interest kicks in, so I never pay interest. That's a little hack I've learned over the years. Pay your credit card balance off before the balance comes in the mail if you are able to. So most credit cards are really hard with the interest rate. Just do your own research. I wish I would have done more research with the one I have. The one I have, the interest rate is 30%. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And I've had that credit card for 7 years and the interest rate hasn't gone down. It actually has gone up. So when I signed up, it was 28% in 2017 and now we're in 2024. It's at 30%. Absolutely insane. I'm so, so grateful that I'm able to pay the credit card off before the balance comes in, so I'm not paying that 30% interest. Another thing to rethink, and this is something you should always have on your mind, and that is trendy items. I don't even know what's trending half the time. Technically in my own bubble when it comes to like what's going on out there, because it doesn't matter to me. I used to follow trends constantly. I used to wear all of the clothes that everyone was wearing back in 2010, 2011, 2012, and I'm glad I finally snapped out of that because that was making me waste a ton of money. So when it comes to trendy items, try your best to take a step back and think am I buying this for me or am I buying this for others to see me in it or to see me own it? Low quality items. Now, I know we are in rough times right now, so some of us do have to deal with not the highest quality of clothing items. So I totally understand that the times that we're in, it is hard. Most of us are on the cheaper scale with buying things because everything is just so expensive. Heck, even the cheaper items are expensive these days. So I totally get it. But try to do your research when it comes to the item that you're purchasing. Does it have bad reviews due to its quality? Then maybe it's not the product for you and the product you should be spending your hard-earned money on. Research is key. And I know a lot of you guys ask me how do I do my research when it comes to products? The biggest way that I do it is go on my phone, go on Google, go on Amazon, check reviews of that particular product. If the product is not on Amazon, if it's at Target, check the reviews on Target. And then do your research too with YouTube. There's a lot of people that put honest videos out there with certain products that you might want to purchase. Always, always do your own research. And the last thing is unbudget expenses. This specifically goes for those that get taxes back If you get taxes back, I know having like 3, 4, sometimes 7 grand in your hand when it comes to the tax season and you feel like you won the lottery, I totally get that, and you probably want to spend it all. Don't. Try not to spend your money on unbudget expenses. So for this year, say you got 5 grand back in taxes, why take that money and spend more than half of it on a vacation? Like, there's just no point. You didn't budget that out throughout the year. So why would you spend that money? And I know life is all about having fun and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's cheaper ways to have fun. When it comes to budgeting your expenses, stick with the budgeting your expenses. I know it sounds so redundant, but stick with that budget that you created for the new year. And when it comes to having money left over, if you are in debt, put it towards your debt. I know that sounds so bad to say, and I know a lot of people are going to come for me for that. When it comes to being in debt, it's one of the worst things ever. It's like having a constant like heavy weight on your shoulders. And I remember when I was in, I think it was like $15,000 to $16,000 of debt. I know that's not a lot compared to some people in their debt, but for me that was a lot. For me that was like, all right, I made a big mistake with the student loan and with going to school for what I didn't really want to do. So I'm going to pay this off and, you know, try to figure things out and stick with a budget when it comes to big expenses. And that's what I did. I kept that promise to myself. So I'm a huge believer of, if you have a large sum of money left over from your taxes or your checks, say you got a raise and now you feel like you can spend more because you make more, that's technically the opposite. If you make more, you should try to spend less. Like, aim for spending less. That way the extra money that you're getting now in your check can either go to a savings account, an emergency fund, or a house that you would like, or a new car because your car is dying, or your debt. Again, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, and I know some people are going to be like, should we listen to you? You don't even make a lot of money. And I get it, okay? I've been in that position where I was making great money, and I took that as an opportunity. Whatever money I had left over back then, I got out of debt. And I didn't fall into that trap of unbudget expenses. Of course, back then I could have purchased all new clothes. I could have went for massages, spas, vacations, but I chose to pay my debt off. And I chose to be smart with some of the money that was coming in that was considered extra. So I know that was like tough love, and I'm so sorry, but someone has to say it. Stick with your budget and try not to fall into that trap of buying things or doing things that cost a lot of money that you didn't plan for this year. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have my Instagram linked down below. I'm always posting like extra content on Instagram when it comes to pictures and other helpful minimalist and saving money tips. So if you want to follow me on there, I'll have it linked down below, and I hope to see you in the next video.